So you know the ones where you're listening to a song that you really like and you're like, that's my tune.
That's my tune.
Hey, this is Jojo B and this is episode 21 of That's My Tune, the podcast providing song reviews and interviews. Last week we were back in 1980 vibing to some disco, celebrating good times with Kool and the Gang. Well, this week we're fast forwarding all the way to the year 2000 with a completely different genre. We are going to rock out with the band Limp Bizkit. Now, I'm not going to tell you the title of the song because I'm sure you already know what the name of the song is. So you know what? I'm going to leave you to be nodding your head like crazy. And when I'm back, I'll review the song and talk about a whole lot more surrounding the song. And you know how we're doing it. So go and enjoy, my friend. Go and enjoy. I'll be back. Keep rolling, 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 rolling. What? Keep rolling, 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 rolling. Come on. Like, listen, like, you don't even need to really be a big rock fan. But this song is just everything. I mean, you'll just be in front of your TV just doing a dance move. Like, it's such a simple dance move. And that's what I love about the song as well. It's just, everything about the song is just dope. And I'm like, oh, I was like, I've been wanting to do this. I've been wanting to review this song for a long time. And I thought, this is the moment. Do you know what I mean? I've done disco, I've done R&B, I've done UK garage, I've done all it. Now it's time to, you know, bring rock into the equation because this song is just, yeah, man, get me. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed yourselves with that song. But even if you didn't, I did, you get me. So that's the main thing for me. Right, so Limp Bizkit released the song Rollin in the year 2000, 21 years ago. And it won the MTV Video Music Award for Best Rock Video. And do you know what? Speaking of MTV, I actually miss MTV, like the good days of MTV when they actually played music on a consistent basis. Like literally you had your MTV base, you had so many different MTV channels, but what they basically did was just play music all day. Over time, they had few programs that were put in to like break things up, but it was known for music, right? But now these days, it's just reality TV shows. I mean, what the heck? Like, what's going on? But then maybe with like the emergence of YouTube and other streaming sites, maybe MTV thought, you know what, let's focus on other stuff. Do you know what I mean? But it's a shame that MTV is not what it once used to be, like the pioneer of music videos. Do you know what I mean? But that's just by the way. So back to Limp Bizkit, right? Yeah, released in the year 2000. And for me, it's the perfect marriage between rock and rap. Yeah. And obviously they are not the pioneers of the whole rock and rap fusion. If we go back to 1986, you would know that Run DMC and Aerosmith paved the way with their hit song, Walk This Way. So in case you didn't know that, that's where the whole, yeah. So a little lesson for you. And this song Rollin was also associated with wrestling. So this was the Undertaker's theme song. Who was a fan of wrestling? Please tell me, because initially I wasn't really into that. But you know, when you have friends who are into it, you get sucked in eventually. So I would spend Friday nights and Saturdays watching wrestling just for the fun of it. Do you know what I mean? My favorite character, if you like, was The Rock. Do you know what I mean? Like the whole raising of his eyebrow, like, do you smell what The Rock is cooking? Like, know your role and shut your mouth. Was that The Rock as well? I'm sure that was him. But if it's another wrestler, please, I'm not that well versed in the wrestling world. But yeah. And then like, of course, then it doesn't matter. Remember when The Rock and Wyclef Jean released a single called It Doesn't Matter, which is also a tune as well. Like, but it's great to see how The Rock has evolved from wrestling into a full-fledged actor. I think that's really cool, that transition. And he's doing really well in that department as well. So shout out to The Rock for that. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, so Rollin was associated with wrestling as well. So I'm sure they got their sync money from that too. And yeah, it was just one of those songs that just everybody loved, no matter where you were from, because it was such a tune. And that's what I'm talking about. Do you know what I mean? So this song is simple in structure, instrumentation, and there's one element that I want to focus on, which I'll get to in just a moment. So let's talk about the instruments. So it's just layers of guitars. You have your bass, you have your normal electric guitars, then you have your bass guitar, you have your drum kit, you have the DJ scratching the vinyl. So that's pretty much it, really. It's very simple. With the guitars as well, they are distorted, so they use the distorter plugin to, you know, give that grit. And also there's some delay, so there's some aspects of the tune where the guitars are delayed. So when you hear that dun 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 dun, there's delay. And with the chorus as well, there's delay in that. So the chorus, the intro, anytime there's a transition between the verse and the verse and the chorus, there's that. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, and then with the vocals as well, Fred Durst, his vocals, like when he's doing the back and vocals, like when there's the call and response, like, you know, they're panned. Fred Durst, I know that there's a plugin that they used on his vocals, but I can't work out which one it is. So I'm just like, okay, you got me there. But for the intro, you know, when Fred Durst is like, all right, keep on rolling. Yeah, baby. Like, you know, you can hear that they've EQ'd his voice. They've boosted the bass of his voice. Like, he's right in front of the microphone and they've boosted the bass in his voice. So it's like really in your face. And I like that. It's really cool. And yeah, there's some vocals where there's some delay as well. And yeah, like the song is just really simple in its structures. You have the intro, then you got the chorus, you got your verse. It's just really simple. I don't want to dwell too much on the structure today. The main element I want to focus on is the drumming. Yeah, because I was listening to it the other day and I was like, the drummer was really dope in this track. And for me, the drummer really had their time to shine. And another reason why I am really fascinated with the drummers, because once upon a time, drummers were seen, they were heard, but they were literally just relegated to the background. And I learned this by watching The Art of Drumming on Sky Arts. It was like a 5 or 6 part series that I'd been watching over the last couple of weeks. And I learned so much. Like, each episode tackled different aspects of drumming. And one of them focused on how when, like, drummers initially, they were just in the background. So they were there to provide the groove, but it was straight. So you're there, you provide the groove. So the singers, and that they shone, you knew who the singers were and possibly the other musicians. But the drummer, they were literally in the background. You're just there, you play your little beat and that's it. But as time evolved, drummers began to have their time to shine. So, you know, they'll do their little solos and they will break out of the main groove to do little fills and stuff like that. To now, the point where drummers is like, they have full on solos. They have, you know drummers by like signature things that they do. And it was just really interesting getting to learn about that. So this takes me back to where I want to focus on the drummer for Rollin, yeah? So it's like listening to the intro alone, yeah? So you hear the dun, 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 dun. So what is that the drummer, they obviously have the pedal, they're on the hi-hat. But what I heard, which was really interesting, was the snare, yeah? They were doing these little trills as they were playing the snare. And I was like, wait, hold on. How come I've never realized this before? So they're keeping the groove. So dun, 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 dun. So the melodies go in the bass guitar and the guitars, they're keeping the melody going. But the drummer, as they're keeping the groove, they're doing these little trills on the snare. So it was really cool hearing that. And I was just like, oh, and then it's like, as the intro keeps going, there's a crescendo that builds. So the hi-hat is closed. And then as the intro keeps building, the hi-hat opens up. And then as it gets towards the end of the intro, then other cymbals are being used to create this huge build right to the end of the build up. And then they go into the chorus. And I was like, oh, why didn't I hear this before? Do you know what I mean? And it's like, as the song goes through, like the drummer is there. So they're keeping the groove, they're keeping the time, but they're doing these little tricks over time. And it's really interesting because the way the song was mixed as well, like, it's not like the drummer's doing too much, because if the song wasn't mixed well, then you could feel like, oh, this drummer's doing too much in the song. So they get their chance to show off, but the way the song is mixed, it's like, it's still contained, if that makes any sense whatsoever. And there's like another element that I love, you know, when Fred Durst is like, short colors, I can't remember the lyrics right now. it's like, so I think it's either the third verse or it's the bridge, whichever one you want to call it, right? There are times where the drummer is alternating between the snare and the rim shot. And I was like, how did I not notice this before? Like, the drummer's just doing all these really cool things. And it's like, you really had to listen to get it. And I'm just like, yeah, this drummer is dope. So with this song, I'm not really here to really discuss so much about the structure like I do with other songs, because it's really simple. But the drummer for me just really held my attention. As I was listening to it the other day, I was like, I wish I clocked this earlier. It's just really, really fascinating. And yeah, like the fact that the drummer for me was the main drive of this song, because they kept the groove. They were able to like do their little tricks and whatnot. And they also provided the dynamics throughout the song as well, because like I said, the guitarist and the bass guitarist, they don't do too much in terms of melody. So you have the main melody, the other musicians are following the drummer as opposed to the other way around. Do you see what I'm saying? So yeah, shout out to the drummer. And I should have researched who the drummer's name is, but the drummer in the band, thank you for that, because it's really, really cool. And yeah, the video obviously was another, like, I'm glad that Rollin had its own award for the video, because I loved it. Like, everyone's there doing the dance. You know, you had the guy who was break dancing on road as well, and then you had shots of the band playing like outside in the dark. Like, the video was put together well. Do you see what I'm saying? And then you had obviously shots of them driving around in the car and stuff. Like, it's a memorable song and a memorable video, and it's one of those songs you can just vibe out and just rock. Do you know what I mean? So I don't really have much to say about the song apart from like the nostalgia and how well musically I think it was put together, like considering the like not much instruments. So sometimes it just proves that less is more. I mean, during the verses there is a point where there's an instrument that's like dun 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 dun, dun. I mean, there's delay on the instrument, but I could not work out what that instrument is, whether it was an instrument or an effect. So yeah, that one will remain a mystery to me unless one of you guys can figure it out. But outside of that, I mean, Rollin was just one of those songs, and for me will continue to be one of those songs. But yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say about Rollin. And yeah, keep rolling. What? So that is the end of my song review today. And as per usual, if you'd like to find me on Twitter, you can. Ms. Jojo B, MZJOJOB. And if you'd like to connect with That's My Tune, you can in the following ways. That's My Tune Pod on Twitter. That's My Tune Podcast on Instagram. And if you'd like to email, that's my tune podcast @gmail.com. So until next Tuesday, that's me done for today. You know, sometimes just keep it short and sweet. So unless you holler at me, yes, remember, subscribe and let your other people know, if they love music, that there's a really cool podcast out there that, you know, provides song reviews and interviews, innit? All right, I'm gone, people. Bye.